Welcome to yet another deadline stream, but this time for Gameweek 24, and they just come thick and fast. And there's going to be Champions League coming soon, and yeah, more Premier League action, hopefully. No more injuries in other competitions, just like we had in the FA Cup. A bit of a nightmare with Calvert-Lewin getting injured. That was a big one because people were actually thinking of captaining him, and now look, like literally have nothing. So we just have what we are dealt with. And this is an early stream, so I appreciate anyone who has joined in. And I'll go through all your questions and all your comments as usual. And I'll talk about my team. And I did release a video yesterday with a wildcard guide. And I also talked about how the injuries and stuff and the external circumstances have impacted my team. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined in. And I'll start reading your comments. Welcome, Christian. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Home Sweet Home, for joining in once again. Really appreciate it. And Samuel, thank you. All familiar faces around here. Good morning to you as well, Sweet Home. Very, very good YouTube name. Do you think Diaz will play? He's my biggest concern. Good question, Christian, and thank you, obviously, for tuning in. I think he will. He trained yesterday, albeit it's the first time he did train after the FA Cup game, but he had a fever. But I think he'll be fully fit. And Diaz always strikes me as one of those guys that he will play even with a fever or with an illness. So he might not be 100% fit, but I think he will play. And even then, just think about how important he is to City. I would be surprised if he doesn't play today. And yeah, against Everton, most likely he's going to start. And that's the thing with Diaz. That's what we like about him. He's very, very nailed on. I mean, he's as nailed as you can get, really. And yeah, I think he's going to play. Wanja, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Sanan says, should I start Dallas or Robertson? Already have Bamford and Rafinha starting. That's a very good question. That's a tough one. I mean, normally I would say Robertson, but given how Liverpool are at the moment and given the fact that they play Leicester, pretty tough. A triple up on Leeds. To be honest, with Arsenal not having Thomas Partey and Tierney, I would actually recommend, playing your Leeds players. Maybe not all of them. Maybe I'd go for Dallas, but that's a very tough one, and back your gut on that one, because it's 50-50. Robertson can still get an assist, maybe a clean sheet, but I just think Dallas is more likely to get you something. But we'll have to wait and see. I might be wrong. What do you think about triple captain Pope? Wow, that is very bold, Alexander. I would personally not do that, but then again, I see the logic behind it. I know it might sound a bit weird, but triple captaining Pope, and he does well, you're gaining a big advantage this week, and let's say, for example, most people are going to be triple captaining Harry Kane in 26. If you have him captain already and then someone else is triple captaining him, they're not getting that much of an advantage over you, if you know what I mean. So triple captaining a differential like Nick Pope or even Raheem Sterling, I think might be very good. I wouldn't do it personally, but if you're very confident, then why not? I don't know. Captaining someone, a defender, and you're relying on clean sheets and stuff, it's already stressful enough. Triple captaining is another story in itself. Play Souček, Soufal or Dallas, asked Mohammed. I would play Soufal out of those three, but Souček can deliver. Dallas could still do something. I just prefer Soufal out of the three. Mickey says, hi Dylan, hope you are well. What do you think about Justin to Alonso, or would be getting a Burnley defender? Or would getting a Burnley defender be better? And rolling my second transfer for next week, and is Pope essential? I wouldn't say he's essential, but he's one of the best options this week. I already highlighted him, Dominic Calvert-Lewin before he got injured. Then obviously triple City, whether it's Sterling, Gundogan, Diaz, Cancelo or Stones, 3 out of those 5. I'd say those are the best picks this week. And now that Calvert-Lewin is out of the picture, I think the best player you could get outside of City is Nick Pope. But there are differentials. There's Richarlison, there's even James Rodriguez, there's Digne. But I just think that Calvert-Lewin is something else entirely. Very consistent as well. And Justin to Alonso looks pretty good. I don't know about Chelsea's Game Week 26 fixtures. That's the only thing. That's why I didn't go for Rudiger in the end, at least for now. But still, I think Alonso could be very good. He's pretty cheap for what he can give you. He gives you plenty of attacking threat. The problem I have with Alonso is that he will still rotate with Chilwell. He is first choice at the moment, it seems, Marcos Alonso, but I think there will be rotation. So bear that in mind. I think maybe a Burnley defender for this game week is better, but back your gut on that one. Ario says, hi, my man Dylan. Great work there. Thank you. And thank you for joining in. Really appreciate it. Samuel says, I have probably the biggest bench headache this week. I need 3 players out of the 6 benched. Son, Bamford, Watkins, Souček, Maddison, Rudiger. That is tough. I'd probably start Bamford, Rudiger, and then I'd probably start either Watkins or Souček. I think Watkins' ceiling, I mean, I might be completely wrong. I think it is slightly lower because Brighton are very, very good defensively at home. But I wouldn't be surprised if Watkins got a goal or an assist or maybe both of them. That's the thing. Soucek, you know how he is. He's so explosive at times. I'd probably bench Son, Maddison from those, and then yeah, either Soucek or Watkins. But that's very tough. Otten Boy says, "Hi Dylan, should I start Barnes over one of Soucek or Soufal? Not for me. You could arguably start him over Soucek, but I would definitely start Soufal because he's likely to get 6 points. Obviously, the ceiling isn't that high, but the floor is pretty, decent. You'd rather have 6 points than 2. But that's the way I see it." Christian says, "As you said, we all know how much Pep loves rotation. But Diaz is holding the whole team together. I will take a risk with holding him and will go for Sterling and Gundogan." I wouldn't say it's a risk, in my opinion. I think he will play. He trained yesterday, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't start. And even then, you're carrying him into double game week 26, where the Champions League is coming into play, and Diaz should play through most of those games. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But yeah, it looks pretty good the way your team is set up. Marco says, "Hey Dylan, would you do Soufal to Lowton or me for free?" Good question. I'm not sure. I mean, Soufal's good for this week, but going forward, yeah, he's not very good. Burnley, very good for this week, but then going forward, not so much, if you know what I mean. I know they have a double in 26, but it's a very bad one if it does come to pass. From those two, I don't know, because Lowton has more assist potential, and actually against Brighton, I believe, he was very, very offensive. But then you have Ben Mee and Tarkowski, who are the most threatening from Burnley's defenders, so tough one. I'd probably say Ben Mee, but Lowton could be very good value. And also the good thing about Lowton is going forward, he could be on your bench and you're not really worried about him. So yeah, that's the way I see it. Wanja asked DCL. So yeah, let me show you my bench because I haven't showed my bench so far today. So you saw my starting lineup. I've actually got Son first bench, Calvert-Lewin second, Mitchell third, and Martinez in goal. Now, if Calvert-Lewin had a double, and I was confident of everyone starting, so Antonio fully fit, obviously there's still a bit of a question mark there, you could arguably bench boost this team, but the way I see it, there's going to be better opportunities, whether it's game week 25, 26 or beyond. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Son first substitute. I think he's a bit more likely than Calvert-Lewin to get an attacking return against City, just the way that Spurs play and how that lines up against Pep Guardiola's style of play. But Calvert-Lewin, if he obviously had that fixture against Fulham, he's in my starting lineup and arguably my vice-captain. But yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go at the moment. Calvert-Lewin, I will keep him because he's back most likely for the Man City game in Game Week 24. And yeah, Game Week 25 should be back. And for Game Week 26, if Everton do have that great double, then yeah, I would want to have Calvert-Lewin. So that's how I am approaching it. I think I'll be keeping Calvert-Lewin, and if anything, going forward, I'll be selling Antonio because of the tough fixtures and because of his, injury record, which was why I was hesitant in the first place. But yeah, hopefully that makes things clear for you lot. Good morning, Dylan. Best captain, Gundogan or Bruno? I think Bruno has got the best fixture that he'll probably have all season, but Gundogan has 2 fixtures. He's in great form. Everton and Spurs both went to extra time in the FA Cup and they conceded 9 goals between them. They both have very poor stats defensively over the last 4. So I would be tempted to go for Gundogan, but that doesn't mean that Bruno is wrong, in my opinion. Good afternoon, Dylan from Melbourne. Your team looks similar to mine. Let's hope there are a lot of goals. Good luck, mate. Thank you. Hopefully you do well as well. Yeah, I mean, your team is similar. Yeah, a lot of teams are pretty similar at this stage. My template rating is around 80%, and that's not something obviously I want, but it is what it is, But yeah. Oh yeah, and actually something it's caught my eye. Pope vice captain. I did change it to him just because he's got a double. It could be Bruno. He was my vice captain for all of the week, but yeah, it's just. Captaining Pope might be a good differential this week. That's the way I'm seeing it. But anyway, that's something different entirely. Should I bench any of my Leeds players for Robertson, Rafinha, Dallas or Bamford? If you were to bench one, I'd probably bench Dallas, but he could do something against Arsenal. Didn't you have Trent? I had him for 1 week as a punt, and also because I was considering using the wildcard soon. But obviously it didn't work out. And all season I've been talking about Liverpool defenders not offering value. So I just got him in maybe to get a return against Brighton and whatever. And it just didn't work out. So I got Wan-Bissaka in ahead of the Everton game. He got an assist and Trent conceded 4 goals. So yeah, I don't really see the value in Liverpool players apart from Salah. He's the only one. He's an exception. But everyone else from Liverpool, it's a no-go right now. That's the way I see it. Bench Vardy, Watkins, Son or Diaz? I would not bench Diaz because he's likely to play both games. Probably from those lot, I would probably bench Son or Vardy. But yeah, I think the way that Liverpool are playing, I think Liverpool might respond. But I wouldn't be surprised if Vardy got a goal. To be fair, same with Son, but I'd probably bench Son out of those four. Son over Antonio this week. If you don't think Antonio's going to start, then do it, because if he comes on for a 1 minute cameo or whatever, or should I say a 1 pointer cameo, it's not worth it. So I think Antonio will start, but then again, if he doesn't, then that's going to backfire and he'll probably get me 1 point or whatever. It is what it is, and he has obviously less of a chance of hauling. But yeah, otherwise, I'd probably just bench Son. And what do you think about Sterling triple captain? I really like that, to be honest. The fixtures aren't the best. You could arguably save it for Game Week 26 when City have a much better double, but I still think it's a differential, and I already pointed out the stats of those two teams, Tottenham and Everton, very poor defensively over the last 4, and actually Spurs have conceded the most shots inside the box, so it's something worth noting, and Sterling has been so consistent recently, so I'd really like a Sterling triple captaincy, definitely. Please rate my squad: Pope, Target, Loughton, Stones, Diaz, Grealish, Salah, Gundogan, Bruno, Son, Antonio. Yeah, I always say this, I don't rate teams, but it's a good team, you know. I wouldn't give it a rating out of 10, but yeah, it's all good. It's looking very good for this week. You've got plenty of double game week players. You've got some very explosive players who with single game week who could do really well. What you saying, bro? Hope everything's good. I keep flip-flopping between Gundogan and Bruno captain. Who would you pick? Asked Mo Akbar. Thank you for your question. Bruno's a very good pick this week. West Brom are so bad. They're definitely the team to target in terms of captaincy. And if it was a solo game week, Bruno is a no-brainer. But because Gundogan has a double, because of his form, because of his advanced role, Rodri is in training, so he's most likely going to play in defensive midfield. Gundogan will still play that attacking role. I'd probably just go for Gundogan, but despite how poor Spurs and Everton have been defensively, I think Spurs are going to park the bus. I would be very surprised if Mourinho employs a more offensive style of play against City. I think that would be suicide. So I think he's going to just sit back and he'll frustrate City, as he has done, over the last 2 games that he's faced Pep. And as for Everton, they could do something similar, although they won't park as much. They won't sit as deep. And I think they'll try to attack a bit more. They are at home, and Everton do like to attack at times. But still, maybe Gundogan captain might not work, maybe even Sterling. There's so many permutations, it depends how the team's set up. But I still go for Gundogan 2 games, more chance of getting points. And to be honest though, West Brom, yeah, it's a very good fixture. And I have been tempted by captaining Bruno, but I go for Gundogan. Okay, so what's the final update on all the injured players? DCL, Diaz, Antonio and Digne. How likely are they to start? Also, I have Foden. Should I start him? Got DCL, Son and Mitchell on the bench. Yeah, I'd definitely start Foden because he got rested in the FA Cup. Should play at least one of the games this week. And as for updates, so Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I said this in yesterday's video, he's missing the Fulham game, but he should be back for the City game. And if not, Game Week 25, he's back. Diaz should play. He was in training yesterday. Should play across both games. Antonio, I don't know about likely to start, but Moy seemed optimistic the other day. But there is a chance of him starting from the bench, but should be in the squad. And as for Digne, he was in training. Nothing was mentioned about an injury, so that means that he had nothing. It was just fatigue towards the end of the Spurs game. So yeah, that's the update on all those players. Hopefully you caught that. Captain Gundogan or Sterling? Very good question. I'd probably go for Sterling just about, but there's not much to split them. And stats-wise, Sterling maybe is slightly better going forward in terms of, attacking threat, but assist potential, Gundogan much better. And for value, Gundogan is a much better pick, but Sterling in terms of captaincy, I would probably slightly back him more so than Gundogan, but there's not much in between it. Do you think Antonio will play, Dylan? Because Moy sounded a bit cautious. And would you start Anguissa or Dallas ahead of him? No, not for me. I'd still start Antonio because if he does play, and if he does start, he could do something. He could get 8 points or whatever. So, but that's just the way I see it. If you think differently, if you think he's not going to play the full 90 or 60 or whatever, and he just comes on for like 30 minutes or less, then yeah, it's worth benching him, I guess. But I wouldn't start Anguissa over him. I'd probably start Dallas. But then again, Anguissa does have a double game week, to be fair, but I just prefer Antonio. Mate, who would you bench out of Reece James, Rafinha and Grealish? You have to bench one. Well, I mean, you have to bench one, but out of those 3, I would bench probably Rafinha. Reece James, though, is a bit of an iffy one. He might not even play, but I would start Grealish and Reece James. When are you using your wildcard, or is it worth using a wildcard if I only make 5 transfers? It's all team dependent, but 5 transfers, you know what? In terms of a wildcard, I think it's most efficient when you're making at least 6, 7 changes or more. But then again, it's not like, oh, it has to be a certain number or whatever. If it helps you going forward, then fair enough. But maybe it will be a better use later on. The way I'm looking at it at the moment is using my wildcard after game week 29. So probably in game week 30 or 31. So I could prepare for these doubles coming up. I can prepare for blank game week 29. And then going forward, I can set my team up for the rest of the season without carrying players who I might not want from game week 29 and stuff. So hopefully you get that. But if not, if I do change my mind, depending on how the doubles line up and future game weeks, I may wildcard in game week 25 or something like that, or 26, although that's less likely. So yeah, the way I see it, probably game week 25, but the more likely eventuality is game week 30 or 31. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll keep you guys updated, of course. Martinez or Pope? Martinez for this game week, but going forward, I do prefer Martinez. Start Antonio or DCL? I'd start Antonio because DCL most likely going to play against City only. Don't really back him. If Antonio starts against Sheffield, more likely to get something. But that's the way I see it. Sorry to... Jose says, what are your thoughts on triple captaining Gundogan? I think it's a good time to captain him, or triple captain him, should I say. However, the way I'm looking at it, I have the triple captaincy available. I could do that, but I just think there are probably better options in terms of fixtures and stuff like that. So I think you could hold it, but if you're confident of Gundogan hauling, then go for it. You know, it could be a good differential. He's still not even owned by 30% of the game, I believe. Let's check. Every time I've checked, he's 25% owned. Yeah, 29. Damn, so many people have got him in after that Liverpool performance, which is a shame, but, you know, it is what it is. We can't do much about that. Start Grealish or Bamford? I would probably start... That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Before the injury news about Thomas Partey and Tierney, I would have definitely said start Grealish. Now, maybe Bamford. That's a 50-50 one. I would try to start both, but if I had to pick one, maybe Bamford. But that's a tough one. Cheers for the very in-depth answer. Thank you, Mo Akbar, and thank you for your questions. If you have any more, then let me know. Really appreciate it. Thanks for answering. Who to bench? Soucek, Son, or DCL? Ask Wanja. Out of those 3, I'd probably bench DCL, to be honest. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but doesn't play against Fulham, so I would probably bench him. And that's the fixture we were really wanting him for, and he's not even playing that. Sterling on Gundogan captain for me. I'm currently on Sterling at the moment, but what are your thoughts? I would probably go for Sterling, but there's not much in it. Gundogan nearly matching Sterling in most stats, if not, you know, surpassing him in others, like creativity. But I'd probably go for Sterling. I just have a feeling he's going to do really well this week, but Gundogan is also very good. So either one is fine, and the fact that you have both of them, I'm quite jealous, I'll be honest, but yeah, that looks really good, Jensen. Dylan, Captain Pope or Gundogan? Asked TC27. I'd probably go for Gundogan, but Pope, you know, this is the way I see it. If Burnley keep 1 clean sheet, the chances of Pope getting at least 8 points or more is very, very high. So let's say he gets 1 clean sheet, he'll probably get between 8 to 11 points. And then whatever he gets in the other game is a bonus. He's a good captain. But will they keep a clean sheet? I'm not so sure. The last time he played Palace, I believe he got 10 or 11 points. So he's definitely capable. He hasn't played Fulham yet this season, but he could do really well. Nick Pope, yeah, I mean, that's why I got him vice captain at the moment. I think he's a very good choice as well. I prefer Gundogan though. That's the way I see it. But to be fair, actually, whoever I have vice captain tends to outscore my captain, so maybe just go for Pope. But who to bench, Soufal, Target, or Son? Good question, Philip. I would probably bench Son, but that's not a popular choice. A lot of people would say no, bench Soufal or Target. But yeah, I'd probably start Soufal from the free for sure. Will there be any other double game week in the future after 26? Yes, there will be in game week 27, and there's going to be smaller double game weeks. They're not yet confirmed, by the way. Maybe there's one in 32 and 37, but it's all hypothetical. But the chances are there are, because Spurs still have some games to rearrange. Obviously, one of them should be rearranged in 29, which is a blank game week, so they only have 1 fixture. But yeah, I mean, there should be plenty of double game weeks to come. Look at Aston Villa, how many games in hand they have, even Fulham. So there's plenty to come for sure. Southampton's another one. Dallas versus Arsenal or Son versus Man City? Very tough. I'd probably, in this case, go for Son, but very tough. Thoughts on Kane? Yeah, going into Game Week 26, not having him is slightly a scary proposition, but a lot of people are going to have him. A lot of people are going to be triple captaining him. So let's say, for example, you want to get him in, triple captain him. maybe you're not going to gain as much from doing that. But still, I mean, I would rather have him and captain him than, not having him at all. Going forward, I am actually considering maybe getting rid of Salah for someone like Rafinha in Game Week 25. And then in Game Week 26, I could get Kane in for Antonio, something like that. I could do that, but we'll have to wait and see. But Kane, one of the best options heading into the next couple of weeks. Got plenty of doubles, should have one in 27, and should have a game in 29, the blank Game Week 29. Hi, Dylan, Martinez or Pope? Yeah, I answered your question, Home Sweet Home. I said Pope for this game week, but going forward, I prefer Martinez. Start 2, Digne, Saka, Son or Barnes? Yeah, definitely start Digne. He should be fine. And as for the others, that's very tough. I'd probably go for Son, but Saka could do well, even Barnes. But yeah. Thoughts on Callum Hudson-Odoi? Quality play in real life, but FPL-wise, not really interested because he tends to play right wing back. And he has to have consistency first. And to be honest, from Chelsea, I always say this, the only players I'm interested in are the defensive assets. So that means Marcos Alonso, Rudiger, even the goalkeeper. But apart from that, not interested. Reece James, if he can nail down a spot, looks very good. But Chilwell, I think, for now, not interested in him. So, yeah, that's the way I see it. Get Cancelo for Soufal. Yeah, I do like that, to be honest. I think that's a big upgrade going forward. Hey, Dylan, sorry I just got here, so you may have answered, but would you recommend captaining between Gundogan and Sterling? Probably Sterling, but there's not much in between that Arnab. But, yeah, if I had both, I'd be captaining Sterling. But either one should be doing the business for you. Son and Antonio or Kane or Soucek? I mean, normally I'd say Son and Antonio, but I don't know, probably Kane and Soucek going forward. Lookman, -4. I wouldn't take a -4 to get Lookman. That's the way I see it personally. Should I get Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka? Okay, well, I had the same decision to make. I went for Wan-Bissaka, and I keep explaining this. The reasoning behind it, he's nailed, he's got no competition and no injury record like Luke Shaw. But in terms of value, Luke Shaw offers better value and more assist potential, and he just looks so good at the moment. But I think also Wan-Bissaka he's more likely to get bonus points without even needing to get an assist and all of that. And one thing that kind of made me go towards Wan-Bissaka is in the Southampton game. When Luke Shaw got taken off at halftime, they were like 4-0 up. Wan-Bissaka stayed on, got another assist, and then got the clean sheet and obviously the bonus points, so he got 17 overall. So with Luke Shaw, his minutes tend to be more micromanaged. With Wan-Bissaka, that's not really going to happen. And then watch me say that and he'll get benched for Williams or something against West Brom. But I just prefer Wan-Bissaka for that, for the security of starts and minutes. But Luke Shaw should play most games, at least 80-90% of the games. Telles does well though. Against West Ham in the FA Cup, played very, very well. So just something to keep an eye on. There's not much in it. If obviously you have budget, you need someone a bit cheaper, then go for Shaw. He'll offer you better value. But if you want someone who's just going to start, Wan-Bissaka for me is the one to go for. Let's see. Some of the questions are repeating here. My bad. Yeah, play Antonio or Rudiger. I would play... Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably go for Rudiger in that case, but his ceiling is probably lower than Antonio's. Start Son or Barnes. I'd go for... Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably go for Son. But I don't know. Barnes could do something against Liverpool. Will Cancelo play in both matches? What are the chances? I'll be honest. I think he might get benched in one of them. The last time he got benched in the FA Cup, everyone was like, yes, he's going to play all the other games in the Premier League. And then he ended up getting benched against Sheffield. So I think he might get benched in one of them. But because they're two tough opponents, he's slightly more likely to maybe start across both games in this double game week than he is in game week 26 when the fixtures are slightly easier. But yeah, there is a chance of him being benched. Thoughts on the best striker to bring in on a wild card? I've got Cavani at the moment. Yeah, Cavani's good. And Harvey, I made a video yesterday, if you want to check that out, of the best team you could wildcard to. And in that video, I mentioned Watkins up front. I mentioned, going forward, going into Game Week 26, having Calvert-Lewin. But for now, obviously, you could just go for someone else. Bamford is a no-brainer. He's got a double in Game Week 25. And Harry Kane. So yeah, Harry Kane, Watkins, Kane and Cavani. Probably the best ones you could go for at the moment. It's up to you which three you get. Genius Gamer asks, play Lindelof or Soufal? I'd probably go for Soufal, but tough one. If you had Shaw or Wan-Bissaka, I'd probably maybe go towards them. But yeah, I think Soufal. -4 for Bobby Reed, not for me, Eric. Sterling or Pope captain? I have it on Pope. I'd go for Sterling, but if you back Pope, then why not? You don't have to listen to me for that. It's down to you who you think is going to get the highest score. But yeah, both good captaincy options. I'd go for Sterling. Captain Sterling or Gundogan? Yeah, Jensen, I already said this. Sterling for me, but Gundogan is still a great choice. There's not much in it statistically, but yeah, I'll just go for Sterling. It's just a gut feeling I have. Just back your gut, trust your instincts. Maybe Gundogan's the one who gets more points, but we have no way of telling. But both are two of the best captaincy options this week, along with Pope. Calvert-Lewin used to be one of them. Cancelo is still arguably one of them. There's also Bruno. I wouldn't be looking elsewhere, but that's just the way I see it. Should I play Rudiger or Son? I would play Rudiger, probably Calvin, but maybe just go for Son, higher ceiling. Start Soucek or Son? Thank you for the help. That's a really tough one. I'd probably go for Soucek, but just benching Son, obviously I've got him on the bench at the moment. It just seems criminal, doesn't it? But yeah, he could do something against City. Hey Dylan, would you bench Soufal or Bamford this week? I would probably bench Soufal in that case. I think Bamford has a much higher ceiling. And I said this in my last video yesterday. The amount of chances that are created for Bamford, it's literally a headache to bench him. And because Arsenal are without two of their best players, especially defensively, I think Bamford could have a field day. So I'd probably go for him. But Soufal, I think he will probably return as well. But yeah, if you can't find a way of getting both of them in, I'd probably just start Bamford. That's the way I see it. Play Watkins, Son or Lindelof? That's a tough one. I'd probably go for Watkins, but yeah, there's an argument to be made for either one of them, Genius Gamer. Captain Sterling or Tarkowski? For me, I'd go for Sterling, but yeah, Tarkowski's still a decent one. If it was Pope a bit more closer, I think he's more likely to get bonus points and stuff like that. But Sterling for me. Start Adams, Son or Bamford? Yeah, I'd go for Bamford out of those three. Diaz or Cancelo? Is this to get in or to start? I mean, to start, I just start both of them. To be honest, I would not bench one of them. But going forward, I think if you want security of starts, Diaz is the guy, but Cancelo's more explosive. And if they both play, Cancelo's more likely to get points. What -4 to bring in double game weeks? Well, for example, you could take a -4 to bring in Leeds players in Game Week 25. For example, Dallas, Rafinha, Bamford. For this week, maybe a Burnley defender on top of Pope, or Digne or Richarlison. These are the type of -4s you can take, the aggressive ones, to attack these double game weeks. But yeah, for me personally, I wouldn't take a -4 to get a Fulham player. I wouldn't even probably bring them in the first place. That's just the way I see it. But if you feel differently, then go for it. It's all down to opinion after all. Chilwell to Tarkowski or Soucek, and Soucek to Gundogan. Yeah, that looks really good, Dark Runner. I would definitely recommend that. Yeah, I'd go for that. DCL bench or not? He's on my bench at the moment, Joseph. Depends on your team, who else you have, but most likely he's only going to play Man City. Do you think he's going to do something in that game? If you think he will, then play him, but I don't think so. That's why I've got him on the bench. What to do with DCL? I think it's worth keeping him, but for this game week, I think it's just worth benching him. The reason why I'm keeping him is because he's literally back very soon, and in Game Week 26, Everton have a very good double on the cards anyway. We'll have to wait and see what happens there with official confirmation next week. But Calvert-Lewin for me, yeah, I think he's worth keeping, just probably on the bench for now. Hi Dylan, will Barnes start? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will. Will he do well? That's another question, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he will start. Captain Richarlison, that could be a good differential. CH, very nice name. Yeah, I mean, if you have Gundogan or Sterling, I'd go for them, or Nick Pope. But yeah, Richarlison could do well. Not sure about the City game. He could maybe salvage something there, but you're mainly relying on the Fulham game, but it could be a good differential. I wouldn't go there personally, but back your gut on that one. Richarlison could be a decent differential. Martinez out for Pope. No, not for me, because Martinez has a double in 26. He's got a fixture in blank game week 29. He's probably got a double in 27. And going forward, he's a much better asset with better fixtures. He's cheaper, so I wouldn't go there personally. Thinking of switching to Richarlison for DCL, fair enough, but I wouldn't do that. Pratik, I wouldn't do that. I would probably just keep DCL. Because just think about it, with Richarlison, it's mainly the Fulham game you're targeting, but going forward, who would you rather have, Richarlison or DCL? And especially going into Game Week 26, Calvert-Lewin looks very good for that. Richarlison's very inconsistent. Remember, he's gone 8 games without scoring in the Premier League, so it's just worth noting that. Richarlison -4. Yeah, that's a good hit to take. It's up to you whether you think you'll do that well against Fulham. Fulham are very, very annoying sometimes. I captained Antonio against them and they were very frustrating. So they're not necessarily, a pushover. So it's just something worth considering. But Richarlison could be worth that -4. Which two out of Watkins, Bamford, Antonio would you opt for? Thank you. Enjoy the videos. Thank you, JB. I would probably start Bamford and Antonio, but if you have a feeling Antonio's not going to start or he's going to have his minutes managed, whatever, then you could just go for Watkins, but I'd definitely start Bamford out of the three. Rudiger or Lindelof, I'd go for Rudiger, Genius Gamer, for this game week anyway. Thanks, hard to read how good Arsenal defence is. I mean, it has been one of the best defences this season. The problem is, Arsenal without their best left-back. They're now playing a right-back at left-back, and they're without their best defensive midfielder in Thomas Partey, and without Tierney, Arsenal have won one game maybe. They've drawn one and lost three. Just to maybe name some of the games, they lost to Southampton in the FA Cup. They drew to Man United in the Premier League. They lost to Wolves, although that was a disgrace, and I don't blame Arsenal for that. And Aston Villa. So there is a case to be made that Tierney is very important to that Arsenal team. And without him, I think Leeds could get some joy. So, yeah, that's the way I see it. Also, would you play Dallas versus Arsenal over DCL versus Just City? I'd probably play Dallas, but that's the way I see it, Arnab. It's up to you. But, yeah. DCL could still do something, by the way, against City. I mean, I wrote him off against United, and look what he did. But just because it's City and how good they are defensively, yeah, the chances of it happening are less likely, but we'll have to wait and see. Opinion on Ashley Barnes, captain? Not for me, because... Ashley Barnes. I thought you were talking about Harvey Barnes for a second, my bad. But even then, I'm not so sure. I'd rather captain Pope or even a Burnley defender, and if not, a City player, Bruno Fernandes, maybe even Richarlison. That's the way I see it, but if you're confident, then why not? It's a good differential, very good differential if it works out. Kane or Antonio? Kane for me, definitely, going forward. But for this game week, because of the fixture, obviously, if you have both of them, then I'd probably start Antonio, but... going forward, Kane is a much better asset, and I'm looking to get rid of Antonio for Kane, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Yeah, Eric, I already answered your question. It's for this week. I'm well aware of that. I said, yeah, for this week, Richarlison is probably worth it, but going forward, maybe not, but it's up to you, mate. Antonio playing? I think he will, but there is a chance he might get benched. I would be surprised if he's not in the squad, but... yeah, I think he will start. Hopefully he does anyway. Jesus to Antonio. If you already have Gabriel Jesus, I would not get rid of him ahead of a double, even though he might not play both games. If you're talking about Antonio to Jesus, that's something worth considering, but I wouldn't go for Jesus. For City players, I'd go for their defenders and their midfielders. Nothing else, really. Maybe Edison, especially if he's on penalties, but nothing else. Bench or start Maddison? Very open-ended question, Paul. I mean, it depends who you have starting ahead of him. But I was asked questions, I think, yesterday. I think I was asked, would you start Maddison or Son? And I'd probably start Maddison in that case. But I'm not sure, what kind of team you have. Rashford to Gundogan or hold Rashford? Well, that's a tough one because Rashford has a very good fixture this week. But then again, if you bring in Gundogan, I imagine you'd probably be captaining him. And going forward, Gundogan's a far better asset. I'd probably go for it, but there is a risk that Rashford does well this week, and even against Newcastle next week. But yeah, I have a feeling Everton will smash City. Smash City? I mean, there's a thing about Everton beating City, that's definitely possible, but smashing, the way City are at the moment and their defence, that's a very bold prediction, Joseph. Ninad says, people owning Pope when I have the unsung hero Areola in my team who will get 2 clean sheets. Fulham clean sheet against Everton, even without Calvert-Lewin, I'm not sure, but Areola's been very good. But around his price, I think Sanchez is the best. And I mentioned him in my video yesterday. Sanchez is someone I've got an eye on going forward, especially for blank Game Week 29. But yeah. Or maybe I do DCL to Richarlison. That is something you could do, especially if you think, Everton are going to batter City. But not for me. I think Calvert-Lewin, he's going to be back soon. And for Game Week 26, he's a fantastic option. Start Soufal or Son? For me, Soufal, I mean, you can look at my team. I've got Soufal starting. I've got Son on the bench. So I wouldn't lie to you. That's what I think. But let's put it this way. Son has a higher ceiling than Soufal because of his quality, because of obviously the duo of Son and Kane. But Soufal, probably his floor is obviously higher. he's more likely to get 6 points than Son is, but it's up to you. Either way, I expect points to be on my bench, and you might even have points on your bench, but I would probably go for Soufal. But if you feel differently, then obviously, you don't have to listen to what I say. It's just my opinion. Grealish or Soucek? That's a tough one. I'd probably start Grealish, and going forward, Grealish is a far better asset. Arnab says, and finally, thoughts on my team: Pope, Cancelo, Soufal, Dallas, Target, Bruno, Gundogan, Sterling, Rashford, Salah, Bamford, DCL, first on the bench. Cheers, mate. Yeah, that looks solid. Trying to pick out holes in it. Yeah, there really isn't one. You've got a lot of the best assets for this game week. So Rashford, for example, going forward, I would consider getting rid of him. But for this game week and going into game week 25, looks very, very good. So yeah, looks very good. Triple captain Sterling. Yeah, Ali, I think he's a very good potential differential. And if you have a feeling he's going to do well, I would probably go for it. But there's going to be plenty of triple captaincy opportunities going down the road with Bruno Fernandes, with Salah, with Kane and Son especially, and even for City players in Game Week 26, for example. So these fixtures aren't exactly the greatest, despite the poor stats that both teams are posting defensively, but I think it's a good differential, and if you are confident, I would say go for it, definitely, but only back your gut. But yeah, it's definitely not like a bad call or anything on paper. Sterling or Gundogan triple captaincy. I mean, I said I prefer Sterling as a captain, so the same goes for the triple captaincy, but both very good options. Either one of them could haul, maybe both of them. That's the thing. Saka or keep Firmino? Firmino, he might haul this week, but I just don't like Firmino FPL-wise. I'd probably get rid of him anyway. Yeah, that's the way I see it, Red Gunner. 2 out of 3 of Son, Soucek, Creswell. I'd definitely start Creswell, David. And the other one is between Soucek and Son. But definitely start Creswell, no doubt about it. Sterling, Fernandes, Richarlison, captain. Sterling for me. But if not, the other two are very good choices, especially Fernandes. I'd probably go for Sterling. Soufal or Soucek? Soufal for me, Robbo. Tierney is not there, so can Rafinha have a field day? Yeah, Nina, that's exactly what I'm saying. I think he will. Rafinha's form, Arsenal being a bit frail at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I think Rafinha and Bamford could have a field day. If Partey and Tierney were playing, I'd be confident of Arsenal winning and even keeping a clean sheet. But without both of them, I think Leeds could score 1 or 2 goals. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. I already have Pope. Should I bring me in for Kyle Walker-Peters? The thing is with Kyle Walker-Peters is he probably has a double game week in 25, in 26 and 27. And Southampton look much better in the FA Cup. But then again, they play Wolves, who are a poor side. I'd probably keep Kyle Walker-Peters in that case. Although, I already said this before with Southampton assets. I'm not really feeling it at the moment. But because you already have Pope, I think that's enough cover. Obviously, Ben Mee is extra. I would probably just have Kyle Walker-Peters because he potentially has 6 games in 3 game weeks, And from Southampton, I already said this. Danny Ings, Kyle Walker-Peters, Vestergaard, and maybe their goalkeeper, the ones to look out for from Southampton. Apart from that, not interested at all in Southampton assets. But yeah, I'd probably keep him. Out of Watkins, Antonio, Soucek, and Wan-Bissaka, which 2 would you play? I need to bench 2 of them. Obviously, back your gut on this one. I'm just giving you my opinion. From those 3, I would play Antonio and... Oh, that's a tough one. And Wan-Bissaka. That's very tough. Maddison or Son? Yeah, I literally just said this a few minutes ago. I'd probably start Maddison, but Son could easily haul. Game week 25, I'll be transferring Bamford. Wait, is it? Oh, Barnes for Rafinha and DCL for Kane. Thoughts? Yeah, that looks really good. You're getting Rafinha for game week 25, got the double, and you're getting Kane in, who's a very good option anyway, but he's got future doubles. Yeah, I think that's really good moves. Grealish or Soucek? I already said Grealish. Hopefully you're not the same one, because I do ban people who spam questions, because obviously I do try to get to every question. Bamford or Watkins? I'd probably go for Bamford. I know the fixture on paper is tougher, but yeah, Bamford for me. Should I play Saka or should I play Firmino? I don't know if any of them are going to do anything. I'm not sure about that one. Maybe Saka, but I honestly don't know. I don't think either of them are... I don't know. Saka, he's 5 million, so for his value, he offers quite a bit, but yeah, I'd probably just start Saka, I guess. Choose 2, Rashford, Sterling, Salah, Mane. Is this to start or going forward? Like, who would you go for? So if it's for this week, Sterling is a no-brainer, and I'd probably go for Rashford, but going forward... Sterling and Salah, easily. Hopefully you got that. Rudiger, Stones, Lindelof, Alioski and Soufal. Want to get Cancelo, but for who? Normally I'd say Alioski, but he's got a double in 25. Soufal's fixtures do turn soon. I'd probably say Probably Lindelof or Sufal. But yeah, Alioski's another one. Going forward, long term, I don't really like him. Start Kane or Target? I'll probably go for Kane. Do I play Digne? Yes, because he's probably going to play both games. And yeah, he was in training. No news, no nothing about him having an injury, so he should be fine. Definitely play Digne. Play Son or Sufal? I already have Creswell. I'd play Sufal, but it's up to you. I mean, I'm going for the safer pick in terms of who's more likely to get 6 points, but Son could easily punish you. He's on my bench at the moment. Son or DCL? I'd probably go for Son. I mean, that's why I've got Son first substitute and Calvert-Lewin second, but not much in that. Hi mate, a bit late to the stream. Your team is looking very nice. Out of Watkins, Dunk, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Son, who do I start? I can only start 2. That's a tough one. I would probably start Watkins and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Thank you for your question. Sterling playing 2 games? Yes, and come on, man. Seriously, there's no need to spam the chat. I mean, I'm not. From now on, I literally won't answer questions you spam the chat. There's no point. Pope captain? I think he's a very good captain path. I already said this. So basically, any City player, whether it's a defender or attacker, I think are the best. But apart from that, Pope is probably the best captain, along with Bruno and maybe Richarlison. So yeah, I think he's a very good captaincy choice this week. Cancelo captain? Yeah, I mean, it's bold. The thing that kind of puts me off is that he might get benched in one of them. But if you think he's going to start both, then he's a good captain. Definitely, no doubt about it. Do Tottenham have a double in 26 because they lost to Everton? So do they still have a double? They most likely will because they have so many games to be rearranged. Let me check actually. I've got an image that shows all of the double game weeks. So let's actually talk about this because I've mentioned it quite a bit. So it's important to be aware. So is this the one? Let's see. Let's see, I've got 2 of them. I have to delete the other one. That's not necessary. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that one is outdated. Okay, so this one. So Tottenham, their likely double game week in 26 is looking very good. Let's see. Yeah, they could have Burnley and either Fulham away or Southampton at home. So let's say they have Southampton. That's 2 home fixtures for Son and Kane. That's why triple captaincy on Kane is going to be very, very popular. But if not, Fulham away is still a good fixture. And they could even have a double game week in 27 and even 28. It depends, really. It's one of those game weeks. But yeah, Kane and Son look very, very good. That's why a lot of people are looking to get them in. Cheers, Dylan. Love the streams and videos. We'll have to leave early for physics class again. Good luck for the game week. Thank you and good luck with your physics class. Hopefully it goes well. And thank you for tuning in as always. Son or Grealish on the bench? I'd probably bench Son. And as you can see here, I've started Grealish over him. But I'm not too sure about a haul for either of them. But we'll have to wait and see. Is Salah essential? No, definitely not right now. No player really is essential. But maybe going into this period, you could class Kane as borderline essential. But I don't think Salah's essential. Definitely not. I mean, just look how bad Liverpool are. The fact that Salah's even getting points shows how good he is. But yeah, I'm just not sure about being essential right now. Is it worth keeping James Justin despite injuries? I mean, he's injured for the rest of the season most likely, Akil. So no, it's not worth it. He's 5.1 million. He's going to go down in value. And you can use that money elsewhere. Even if you just downgrade him to bench fodder, it's not worth keeping him. No, James is out for 9 months. Yeah, exactly. Wait, is it 9 months? Damn, that is mad if it's 9 months. I mean, it is an ACL. They tend to be 9 to 11 months, or maybe more. Hopefully he gets well soon. I mean, I was looking at him for my team. I'm being serious. I really wanted him. Damn it, man. Is Taylor okay to play? Because I feel Burnley's left side is the best. That's a very good point because Sean Dyche, he said he's touch and go, but he said this for over a month. What does touch and go mean? Normally it means, touch and go. If he feels it on the day, he's going to play. So that's a tough one. I get what you mean, but then if Eric Peters plays, he's been good recently. Then what's the point of having Taylor? I think Tarkowski, Lowton or me are probably your best bets, in my opinion. Tarkowski and me more likely to get a goal. Lowton's more likely to get an assist. And then obviously Pope is the best Burnley asset overall. So I get your point, but I think it's too risky to get Charlie Taylor. He might play, but who knows with Sean Dyche's vocabulary. Start Antonio Soucek, asks Aranya. I'd start Antonio, but if you don't think he's going to start, then just go for Soucek. Foden captain or transfer to Gundogan? If it's not for a hit, I prefer Gundogan overall, but yeah, I mean, Gundogan's more nailed. He's got better stats, but Foden is so explosive and he's a great differential. So I'd probably keep him and maybe captain him. But yeah, going forward, I do prefer Gundogan. Going for Gundogan in, Soucek out. Should I look back for Soucek or ignore him? Good question. I mean, Soucek has very tough fixtures, but the fact you have Gundogan, he's a much better asset than Soucek, plays in a much better team. You'd probably start Gundogan most weeks, so I probably wouldn't look back, in my opinion, unless he starts scoring every game, and then in that case, obviously, Soucek's a very annoying player. Should I captain me or Pope? For me, Lek, Ross, I would go for Pope. Would captaining Cancelo be a crazy idea? No, it wouldn't be. The only thing I already said is that they're two tough fixtures on paper, but I do expect maybe one clean sheet on the horizon for City. The problem with Cancelo is possible rotation, but then again, any City asset is subject to rotation, so obviously that's nothing new there. But it could be worth it, no doubt about it. I'm not going to talk you out of it. Cancelo is definitely, worth considering. I did mention him as a captaincy option this week. Get Pope for free, already got me. Yeah, why not? But do not get rid of Martinez for Pope. That's the way I see it. If you're getting rid of any other keeper, then fair enough, but not Martinez. Should I bench Son or Holding? I'd probably bench Holding in that case. I don't think Arsenal will keep a clean sheet. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. Play Watkins or Rudiger? Yeah, Lynn13, hopefully you're still here. I would probably play... Oh, that's a tough one. Ah, my God, yeah, no wonder you're asking. I'd probably go for Rudiger, but Watkins' ceiling is higher, so... Yeah, and he can still score against Brighton. Triple captain Gundogan or Sterling? Sterling for me. Same with captaincy. It makes no difference. But Gundogan is still very good. So definitely, just back your gut on that one. Who do you think is going to score more points? I think Sterling, but both look very, very good. Play Watkins or Grealish? Tough one. I'd probably still go for Grealish because everything goes through him in Aston Villa. With Watkins, if he scores, most likely he'll be assisted by Grealish. Soucek or Son to play? Probably Soucek, but Son benched, even if it's against City. Start Ings or Son? Wait, they play Wolves, don't they? Yeah. I'd probably start Ings, but that's a tough one. Southampton haven't looked great. Although in the FA Cup, there's a big improvement. Should I play Martinez or Mendy? Good question. I'd probably go for Mendy. Are you using wildcard? No, I'm not. I made a wildcard video, a guide, because a lot of people are using it in 24, 25, and that could be very useful for you. But most likely, I will be wildcarding in game week 30 or 31, and if not, probably 25. That's the way I'm looking at the moment. Bench 2, Son or Soufal or Bamford. I would bench Son and Bamford maybe, but I wouldn't want to bench Bamford. I would want to play Bamford and Soufal, but I'd probably bench Son out of the three. You reckon Gundogan will be over 100% effective ownership in the top 100k? Yeah, I think I don't know about over 100%, but he's going to be heavily owned. So maybe it won't make a huge difference to your rank. But still, a lot of people don't have him. He's less than 30% owned. But yeah, in the top 100k, I think he's heavily owned. Should I captain Gundogan or Bruno? For me, Gundogan. But Bruno is still... I know it's only one fixture, but look how good the fixture is. He has a chance of outscoring Gundogan, Sterling, City defenders. It's possible, but I just prefer Gundogan, but who knows? Maybe I'll look back on this in years to come and say, why did I captain Gundogan? But who knows? Will Stones continue to start? I think so. He got rested in the FA Cup, but there will be times when Laporte comes in. Don't be surprised if that happens. He's going to be rotated from time to time. Will he be rotated in this game week? I'm not so sure. Maybe in one of them. But he should start at least one. If not, then Pep's a fraud. I took -12 to get Sterling, Pope and me for Son, Trent and Fabianski. Thoughts? I'll be honest, I don't like -12s. And you're getting rid of some good players. Like Fabianski, for example. You're getting rid of someone who's likely to get a clean sheet. You're getting rid of Son, who could still do something. And Trent, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'd probably get rid of him too. But you're getting good players in, to be fair. But, -12s... They might pay off in the long term, but for this game week, your rank is probably going to go down. But hopefully it doesn't. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Great stream as always, mate. Would you play Antonio or Rudiger? I feel like with no Wilson, Chelsea should have the clean sheet in the bag. Yeah, the fact that Wilson's out for such a long time, Newcastle are in trouble. I'd probably start... I'd probably start Antonio, but if you don't think Antonio's going to start, then just go for Rudiger. Thank you for your question, Skinny Mini. Very good name. Should I play Antonio or Dawson Soufal? Damn it. I'd probably go for Soufal, but Antonio has a high ceiling. Hola, who to captain? Bruno, Gundogan or Emi? Definitely not Emi. Probably Gundogan for me, but Bruno's a very good option too. Thank you for your question, Yusuf. If I have double West Ham, double Arsenal, double Burnley, think that warrants wildcard, 25 for bench boost, 26. Alternatively, save bench boost for a smaller double game week. Yeah, thank you for your question, Maelstrom. I mean, you might have your triple captaincy available, so if you do, you could also use that in game week 26. But the fact that you have double West Ham, double Arsenal, double Burnley, I think it might be worth it. I don't know what the rest of your team is looking like, but a wildcard is worth considering in your case. And even in my case, I might still do it, despite being happy with my team. But yeah, I think it's worth considering. And as for your bench boost, you could use it for a smaller double game, no doubt about it. I mean, look at it. Over the last few weeks, we've had Bamford on our bench, Gundogan, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I mean, even bench boosting that, you'd be happy with. Should I bring in Pope? I already have me, by the way. Or should I bring in Aaron Wan-Bissaka for Justin or sell DCL? Yeah, I've already said my opinion on DCL. I think if you can, hold him because he's got Game Week 26 a double and he looks pretty good long term. As for Aaron Wan-Bissaka for Justin, that looks the best because Justin is out for the rest of the season. You're getting a good player in. And you already got Burnley cover. I mean, I'll put it this way. If you're getting rid of Martinez for Pope, no, not for me. Don't do that. But if you're getting rid of bench fodder, in goal, or someone pretty poor, I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone poor in goal. I don't know. Damn it. Who's poor in goal? Maybe Ramsdale or something. Then go for it. Get Pope in. But yeah, I'd say from those moves that you suggested, Pope or Aaron Wan-Bissaka, definitely get one of them in. Start 2 out of Bamford, Watkins and Antonio. Oh my God, these questions. Probably Bamford and Antonio, but up to you if you think Antonio's going to start. Rashford for a -4, not for me. I would not bring him in on a -4. On a free, yeah, but not for a -4, especially when there are a lot of double game week players in. Creswell over Wan-Bissaka. I'd probably go for that, but I'd try to start both of them. But yeah, I'd probably start Creswell. Spurs still got 3 to be confirmed game weeks. I plan on keeping triple captaincy on Spurs. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I completely agree. I would actually, that's why I want Kane. Future double game weeks, very good captaincy option, even triple captaincy option. I'm eyeing at the moment, the most likely triple captaincy is on Kane, and I need to find a way of bringing him in. Unfortunately, that means getting rid of Bruno or Salah. I keep forgetting Gundogan is so cheap, that's why I said him. Cavani over Antonio. I think that's a good move, and he's got a double in 26. The only problem with Cavani, and I keep saying this, is possible rotation. Despite how good he has been, he seems to share minutes with Martial. Thank you, Rai, for your question, and thank you for your comments. Bench Antonio, Harvey Barnes or Grealish? I'd probably bench Harvey Barnes, Pluto. Hopefully you got that. Just wanted to hop into the stream and say best of luck, everyone, for this game week. May you be blessed with a green arrow. Thank you, Dylan, and you too. Good luck. All the very best. Who should I replace James Justin with? I already have Mitchell, Cancelo, Creswell. Sure, I have 0.5 million in the bank. You've already got United defender. You've got West Ham, although I would probably say if you don't have triple City, I'd get a City defender, and if not, I would get Dallas in ahead of game week 25, or a Burnley defender for this game week. That's what I would say. Rudiger or Bamford to start? I'd start Bamford, Mickey. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Lynn, and all the very best. Should I captain Bruno or Gundogan, bro? Yeah, Irfan, you asked me this question already. Hopefully you hear me this time. I said Gundogan, but Bruno is still a great option. Rashford or Grealish in for a -4? I mean, for this game week, I think Rashford will outscore Grealish, at least on paper. But going forward, Grealish is a better asset. And he's got future doubles on top of game week 26. And he probably has a fixture in game week 29, so I'd say Grealish. Why do people wildcard in game week 30? Any reason? Well, there's a blank game week in 29, Ninad. And basically, the way people are playing it, I mean, this is what I want to do. I want to prepare for these doubles. And I also want to then prepare for game week 29 specifically. Maybe get some West Ham players back in. And then I could wildcard and then have a completely fresh team with a look at from fixtures from game week 31 or 30 all the way to 38 and target players with good fixtures, with good form, and maybe some players who still have something to play for. So maybe City players by then, they're going to be rotating because they already won the league, and you could target, maybe the teams that are trying to get into the top 4, so maybe triple United or something, or triple Chelsea. Maybe not triple Chelsea, but you know what I mean. But it's a good way of revamping your team and gaining an advantage over your competitors who probably already used the wild card. And you could have a much better team. But there's different ways of going about it. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all team dependent. This is the first time I've heard this. Sigurdsson, good pick. To be honest, I normally would laugh, but he looked very good in the FA Cup. And if he does, if he carries that sort of form over to the Premier League, he could be a great pick for this week. Going forward, no chance for me. But for this double game week, I think Sigurdsson would be very good. Might have missed it. Son or Soucek. I'd probably go for Soucek tips for FPL, but Son, never underestimate him. That's all I'm saying. And if he does punish you, it is what it is. He's very, very, he's unforgiving sometimes. Sterling or Gundogan triple. I already said this multiple times. For me, Sterling, but there's no right or wrong. Gundogan could still do very well. Rafinha or Soufal. I'd probably go for Soufal, but Rafinha, I think, has a haul in him against Arsenal. Start 1. Son, Rudiger, Bamford. Bamford for me. What do you think about playing Lookman over Antonio or Bamford? Maybe over Antonio because he has a slight injury risk, but I'm not sure. If Antonio starts, I expect him to do something, but you never know. I just wildcarded. Good luck, David Chill Guy. And if you want, check my video out from yesterday. If you gain any ideas, last minute ideas, hopefully that helps you out. Good luck with your wildcard. What do you think about triple captaining Bruno in Manchester United's double game week 26? The fixtures would be Chelsea away, I believe, and Palace away. So not the greatest, but Bruno Fernandes could be a great triple captaincy option that week. I'll be honest though, if I were to use triple captaincy in 26, it most likely will be on Kane or Son. The fixtures would look so good. And with Spurs, very unlikely that one of them gets dropped. But that's the way I look at it. Dylan, are you happy with your team, or is there anything you would change if you had 2 free transfers? If I had 2 free transfers, for this game week, I'm not too bothered. But going forward, I would probably want maybe Dallas or Rafinha and trying to get Kane in for game week 26. But for this game week, I'm pretty fine with what I have. I've got the likes of Son and Calvert-Lewin on my bench and even Martinez. So, yeah. Going forward, I would love a lot of free transfers to kind of, move from game week to game week and navigate it without using the wild card. But it is what it is, Jose. Triple captain Sterling this game week, or take -4 and bring in Gundogan still for the triple plus Pope for McCarthy. I just triple captain Sterling in my opinion, James. All the best of luck with that. Bench Soucek or Son? Yeah, Son for me, but back your gut on that one. It's a tough one. I could say bench Son and then he does well. I could say bench Soucek and then Soucek does really well. Play Son, Saka or Soufal? I would play Soufal out of those 3, Ryan. Let's see. Son or Trent? I'd probably start Son. Werner, Cavani or Vardy just for this game week? I'd go for Cavani for this game week. I think he could do very well. Pope captain? Nothing wrong with it. That's why he's my vice. I think he could do very well. Like I already said with Pope, if he keeps 1 clean sheet, he's guaranteed at least 6 points, and most likely he'll get between 8 to 11 points because of bonus points and save points. So hopefully, hopefully if you do captain him, he does very well. Captain Gundogan or Sterling? No need to spam the chat, Mohammed. Oh my god, yeah, I'm not even going to answer that question. I've already answered it from other people, but yeah. No need to spam the chat. I think I saw something about UCL here. Will there be UCL videos this weekend? Yes, there will be. I'll be doing a team selection video, most likely tomorrow, and I'll be aiming to do a live stream on the Tuesday, 1 hour before the deadline. And remember, obviously the deadline is when the game starts, so at 8 o'clock. So most likely I'll be streaming around 7 o'clock GMT. Thank you for that question. Play Areola or Martinez? Probably Areola because it's a double game week, and Martinez might not even keep a clean sheet against Brighton. Play 2 out of this 3. Watkins, Rudiger, Soucek. I would start Rudiger and probably Watkins, but benching Soucek just seems too a bit mad. Foden, question mark. I think he's a good option. Going forward, Gundogan is my preference, and then Sterling. But out of that, 2, out of that duo, let me speak English. I think if you're trying to look different, I think Foden could be very good, but Gundogan and Sterling are my preference, no doubt about it. But Foden, great differential, and he's someone worth considering. The problem with him mainly is rotation, and in UCL Fantasy, actually, I've got him at the moment. But yeah, in FPL, I really like Gundogan. The value he offers is insane. Thank you, Jose. Another song, blank. No, I'm not even going to read that. Play Bamford or Bobby Reed? Oh my god, I'd probably still play Bamford, but Bobby Reed has a double game week, doesn't he, sir? Is Richarlison a good buy for DCL? For this game week, yes, but going forward, I already said this, Calvert-Lewin is a much better option than Richarlison, because he's still got that double game week in 26. Calvert-Lewin should be back by Game Week 25, no doubts about it. Unfortunately, it is Liverpool away, but for Game Week 26 remains a great option. So it is a bit of a sideways move overall. Really, if you're making that move to Richarlison, you would be banking on Richarlison doing really well against Fulham. And if he doesn't, then probably not worth it. But I think Richarlison could do something there. Grealish to Gundogan. Not for me because Grealish has future doubles. He's got that fixture in Game Week 29. He's a great asset. Not for me. Should I play Adams over who though, F1? And the deadline has passed. But obviously, I'd still answer your questions about, oh, should I have done this or whatever. But yeah, locked. 1-1 Sterling. Best of luck. Well, good luck to you, James. Hopefully that pays off. And good luck to you as well. Good luck, everyone. Good luck to you as well, David Chill Guy. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. Really appreciate it. I swapped DCL for Cavani and triple captain Sterling. That looks really good. And Ita. And hopefully Arsenal win this weekend. I'll be honest, though, without Partey and Tierney, not really feeling confident there. Yes, I will get him back. Okay, fair enough. And if the rest of your team, I can't even speak English right now. If the rest of your team is looking good for Game Week 25, 26 and beyond, then fair enough. You're allowed to make those sort of sideways moves. Will Diaz and Antonio start? I think so. I think Diaz will start. And as for Antonio, I think he will. But he's more likely to be benched than Diaz is. Hope to see greens. Yeah, me too, Wanja. And hopefully you do very well. All the very best of luck. And enjoy the football. And I'm pretty sure you're an Arsenal fan as well. Hopefully Arsenal win this weekend. But easier said than done. But yeah. But yeah. Okay, thanks. Good luck this week. Thank you, Harry. Good luck to you as well. Yes, go Arsenal. Oh my God. Oh yeah, go Arsenal. But I'll be honest. I mean, I've had. Okay, obviously this is not FPL. You can still send in FPL questions, by the way. But I'll also be talking about Premier League and Arsenal, whatever, for a bit before wrapping up. And damn, my voice has gone already. Jesus. But anyway, I do trust Arteta. Although I will be honest, during the period where we went 8 games without a win, ironically after we played at United, and it seems to be happening again. He was making some dumb decisions, but recently I can't really fault him. The only thing I could say, what are you doing, Arteta, is him bringing on Willian against Aston Villa instead of Martinelli. But really, he's putting out the right lineups. We're playing much better football, with the exception of the Aston Villa game. So really, I just think there's a lack of quality from the squad. That's the way I see it. Hoping Arsenal wins. Yeah, same. Another one. Hoping for an Arsenal win. Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat. Very good to see. Next week, I'll have 4 double game week players. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I only have, 1? But I'm looking to maybe get Rafinha or Dallas in. And that's something that obviously will impact whether I get Harry Kane, whether I bench boost, whether I wildcard. And by the way, with bench boost, it'd be in 26. Whether I triple captain. And then, yeah, the wildcard would probably be in game week 25. But if not, going forward. My team, Pope, Cancelo, Stones, Ben Mee, Rashford, Fernandes, Foden, Grealish, Barnes, Bamford and El Matador. Oh, so I'm guessing you're a United fan because I've only heard United fans in England say El Matador. But yeah, that looks pretty good to be honest. And I think Cavani could be a very good differential this week. Everyone knows Lacazette Henry. Never, man, never. Henry is, for me, the best player of all time in the Premier League. That guy is something else. But obviously I know you're joking. Lacazette, I think he gets a bit too much stick sometimes. Even I remember towards the beginning of the season, he started well and I think he missed 1 big chance or 2 against Liverpool, but he did score our only goal at Anfield and people were just slating him. And yeah, people were kind of giving Aubameyang a free ride because he does have credit in the bank, to be fair. Aubameyang's done a lot for this club, probably more than Lacazette, but yeah, Lacazette does get a lot of stick, doesn't he? Dallas, Bamford, Rafinha, McCarthy, yeah, that looks very good for that game week. You're very well set, Marcus. Best of luck, Dylan and everyone. Green arrows all round. Keep them videos coming. Sure thing, Scrambler. And thank you for the positivity and the good questions and comments. Really appreciate it. And hope to see you soon. And another Arsenal fan. Oh, yeah. Very good to see. Exactly why Willian? Lol. He does not even want to be there. That's the thing with Willian. Like, I'll be honest. When he came on against United, I was fuming. But he did play better than Martinelli. I will admit that. But that chance he missed against United... And he didn't even seem to care. Like, I don't know, like, if he at least showed the work rate, the determination, the aggression, then people would be more forgiving. But he's not really showing anything. Even when he's sprinting, it seems to be half-assed. He's not really committing. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I never rated Willian as a player, but he's never been this bad. He never, ever has he been this bad. Martinelli has bulked up a lot and looks a lot slower now. Yeah, maybe that's a good point. And to be honest with Martinelli, even before he bulked up and lost pace, I mean, it could be down to the injury as well, to be fair. He had a lengthy spell out. I think he's better suited up front. And whenever he's played up front, he's scored goals, even against Liverpool, against Nottingham Forest, whatever, Europa League teams, Sheffield United, Chelsea, whatever. I remember he filled in very well for Aubameyang last season when he had that 3-game suspension. I think on the left he's a bit wasted. I'd rather have Saka or Pepe there, or even Aubameyang. I would not want to see Martinelli there. I think up front is where it's at. But ever since his injury, Martinelli has looked a bit different. He hasn't looked as sharp, I guess. But hopefully he does come back. But he seems very injury prone. That's the problem with him. I have triple Leeds and McCarthy. Yeah, that looks very good for that next game week. Do you think Mahrez will play? I'll be honest, Brandon, I think he'll play one game, but I'm not sure about him playing both. Benching Rafinha, need a Cedric masterclass and hoping he doesn't get skinned multiple times, but what a player he is, amazing to watch. Yeah, I'd be uncomfortable with benching any Leeds players, and that's why, in the end, I think all week I had Bamford on the bench, but because of Calvert-Lewin being injured for the first game and stuff like that, I ended up playing Bamford. And yeah, I just don't want to bench Bamford again. The last time I did, he got 15 points. Jesus. Shouldn't Kane and Son get 4 clean sheet points for sitting at the back most of the game? Yeah, they probably should, but that's if they keep a clean sheet. I think City will score, to be honest. Pope, Loughton, Cancelo, Diaz, Saka, Sterling, triple captain, Penandes, James Rodriguez, Cavani, Antonio. Yeah, that looks very good, to be honest. You've got plenty of double gaming players. You've got a great triple captaincy, potentially. That looks very, very good. How's my team? Martinez, Shaw, Creswell, Cancelo, Stones, Gundogan, Grealish, Salah, Bruno, Bamford, Antonio, and on the bench, Son, DCL. Yeah, that looks very good. Creswell, yeah, that's a solid team. Yeah. I wonder who you have captain. Probably Gundogan, I'm imagining. If not, I'm trying to think maybe Cancelo. But yeah, that looks very, very good. We got rid of Ozil and then just gave all the money away to Willian and Aubameyang. Yeah. With Aubameyang, I'm more forgiving because, last year he was exceptional. But I don't know what's happened to that guy. Still got that finishing ability, but doesn't look as sharp in the box. That's the thing. But yeah, with Ozil, yeah, I mean, Willian, that's the bad one. That's the bad one, isn't it? Do you think it's right for Ashley Barnes? I mean, not for captaincy for me, but it's a good differential if it works out for you. But yeah, having him in the team, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But with Burnley, one of the lowest XG over the whole season, along with Sheffield and Crystal Palace. But, if they score, maybe it'll be Ashley Barnes. Does Marcus Alonso overshadow Chilwell's chances of playing? Well, I think Marcus Alonso is first choice, especially at left wing back, but they're going to rotate. I think it'll be like 60-40 or 70-30. And yeah, a lot of rotation is going to be there. And that's why I'm not really interested in Chelsea assets at the moment. Maybe Rudiger, but there's plenty of options in defence anyway. I 100% agree about Martinelli centre forward. And Jesus, what was that sound? He's not a dribbler or crosser. He's only played there because he works hard. Yeah, and with Martinelli, I think his best qualities are his timing, his movement. Yeah, I think his movement, his energy. I think that's his best assets, and also his finishing ability, even heading. He's very good in the air for his height. So that's why I think going forward, he should be up front. Aubameyang runs like an old man now. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. I really like Aubameyang, especially. I don't think he should be captain, but I just like his energy, and by that I mean outside the pitch, and his finishing ability is one of the best in the world. But yeah, it's just a shame at the moment. I feel like Pepe is getting his Lille form back. Hopefully, I mean against Aston Villa, he was a bit disappointing, but he was still involved. That's what I like. He wasn't hiding. He still looked aggressive, and like Arteta said, I think there's something different in there. There's like a click. He seems. Every single ball seems important to him now. Before, maybe he'd be a bit half-assed. He seems more committed. And they seem to be having more one-on-one sessions. And not in a gay way, okay? Whatever. I'm just mean one-on-one sessions. Yeah, working on the pitch, working on improving. But seriously, Pepe, he's got bags of ability. Maybe not £72 million worth of ability, but that's not his fault, That goes for anyone who goes for a hefty price tag. But Pepe is a great player to watch. Whenever he's on the ball, I get off my seat. You just wonder what's going to happen next. Sometimes he's a bit predictable on the right, but on the left, I think that's the position for him to be. And even, I don't want to, I don't know, maybe I'm being completely woke, but maybe up front, playing in a 2. So even if he's just playing as left winger, he could tuck in sometimes as an inside forward, could do very well there. And on a counter-attack, he could be devastating. I bench boosters this week. My full squad: Pope, captain, Strauch, Cancelo, Target, Bruno, Salah, Grealish, Gundogan, Son, Watkins, Bamford, Ederson, me, Lowton, Richarlison. Fair enough. We'll wildcard out of this team. Yeah, that looks pretty good, to be honest. And to be honest, there's always this kind of perception, oh, but you wouldn't have benched this guy, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, you're accumulating more points or whatever. I mean, but yeah, it looks good. I mean, the only thing I'd say is I would obviously be benching Strauch anyway, but apart from that, yeah, that looks very good. You've got a lot of good players there, and you're wildcarding out of it. Robertson versus Leicester. I don't know if he's going to do something there, to be honest. Bring Welbeck for Antonio? No, not for me. And I said this months ago when Welbeck just scored and got 8 points or something. I'm not interested in Welbeck. If you're getting rid of Antonio, the same thing as I said in my wildcard video: Harry Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, Watkins, Cavani. Outside of that, nah, I'm not really looking elsewhere. Yeah, Gundogan is my captain. Yeah, that looks pretty good, Ethan. Kane or Salah for the upcoming weeks? Kane for me. Just look, future doubles. A lot of doubles for Kane. Salah's only got 1 double. And also, Kane's got that fixture in Gameweek 29 and triple captaincy material. John Stone's captain, locked. That looks pretty good. Hey Dylan, I captain Bruno as a differential. Thoughts? I'll be honest, I don't think it's a differential. I think still, I don't know about a percentage or a figure, but I'm pretty sure hundreds of thousands of managers will be captaining him. But maybe in a time where a lot of people around your rank will be captaining a City player or a double game week player, you're captaining Bruno. But yeah, Bruno can outscore most double game week players, if not all. You never know. So hopefully it works out for you. Thoughts on Vestergaard? 8 clean sheets and 3 goals in the 50 games he's played, considering he can double in 25, 26 and 27. Yeah, Dylan, so in terms of Southampton assets, and I discussed this in yesterday's video, Danny Ings, Vestergaard, Kyle Walker-Peters, and maybe their goalkeeper. Those are the 4 I would consider from Southampton. So maybe, 2 or 3 from those 4. Vestergaard's one of them, obviously. When he plays, Southampton look more assured, and no 9-0s are going to be happening on his watch. That's the way I see it. So yeah, Vestergaard's a great option. From their defence, probably the best one. But if not, wow, Walker-Peters is another one. So yeah, that's the way I see it. I think he's a good option. Pope, Rudiger, Diaz, Cancelo, me, Gundogan, captain, Salah, Bruno, Grealish, Bamford, Antonio, Martinez, Sufal, DCL, Burke. How's my teammate? Yeah, looks pretty good, Partha. Yeah, good captaincy. Yeah, same vice captain as I had before. Yeah, looks pretty good. FPL has shit forwards and UCL has shit mids. Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Because in FPL, a lot of the forwards, for example, Aubameyang, are classed as midfielders. Salah as well. Or to be fair, Salah's also classed as a midfielder in UCL Fantasy, isn't he? But yeah, in UCL Fantasy, yeah, I mean, the midfielders are sometimes I struggle to, like, who do I get? And I'm not even too sure. That's why I actually invest a lot of money in the forwards. But yeah, the forwards in UCL Fantasy are much better than FPL, at least on paper anyway. Are you on the draft? No, Fernando, I am not. EPL draft is awesome. Fair enough. I'd have to watch. Football boring. The Mandalorian 21. Oh, Mandalorian's a good show. Don't know about if football's boring. It can be frustrating sometimes, not boring. Arsenal versus Leeds score prediction. All right, you know what? Let's do that then. Let's do that. One of the last things we'll do before wrapping up. I'll just do predictions for all the games. So since you asked about Arsenal Leeds specifically, I'll answer that first. Oh my god. I'm trying to think. I mean, with Tierney and Partey, I'd be going for an Arsenal win for sure. Now, I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1. But could be high scoring, could be 2-2. I'll just go for 1-1. Leicester-Liverpool. I know no one asked for this, but whatever. I'm just doing this. Leicester-Liverpool. I think Liverpool will bounce back, but Leicester are going to make things tough. You know what? I'm actually, for this one, for Liverpool-Leicester, I'm going to go for a 1-1 there. And for Arsenal-Leeds, I'm going for 2-2. Palace versus Burnley. That's a tough one. I mean, they're going to be without Zaha most likely. I'm going to go for a 0-0 there. City-Spurs, tough one, probably 2-1 City. Brighton-Aston Villa. Very hard to call. I'd probably go for a 1-1 actually. Southampton Wolves. I'd actually go for a win for Southampton. Maybe just like in the FA Cup, 2-0. West Brom Man United. Oh my god, I'd probably go for a 4-0 win for Man United. Everton versus Fulham. I think that'll be a tough one. Not much in it. Maybe a 1-0 Everton. And West Ham Sheffield. 2-0 West Ham. Chelsea versus Newcastle. Probably, I'd actually probably go for a 2-0. Burnley versus Fulham. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I mean, Everton City, I'll just say that one. I think it will be like a maybe 3-1 Man City. And as for Burnley, Fulham, that's a tough one, man. Damn. Maybe 1-0 Burnley, but maybe I'm not giving Fulham that much credit. So yeah, something like that. Some of them probably spot on, some of them completely off the mark. Me for Justin, already a 3-Man City player as well. I wouldn't be bringing me in now for Gameweek 25. I'd probably be bringing in Dallas for James Justin. People are sleeping on Arsenal. I think Saka will be a great differential this week. I hope you're right, Gabe. I hope you're right, but I don't see it. I really don't see it at the moment. I think Arsenal are going to struggle against Leeds. Saka could do well, but I'm just saying I think Leeds are going to get something out of this game. Saka or Rafinha, I have Dallas and Bamford too. I'd probably say Rafinha. He's got the double in 25. He's offering consistency. I'd go for Rafinha. Should I play Calvert-Lewin on the bench and put Soucek in or leave Calvert-Lewin in? Well, the deadline has passed, Noah. But yeah, I'd probably start Soucek over Calvert-Lewin because Calvert-Lewin most likely will only play Man City. Watkins or Bamford? Bamford for Gameweek 25. And as for this week, probably Bamford as well for Gameweek 24. Best keeper paired to bench boost on 26. So this is something I talked about in my wildcard video. Check that out. Martinez, no doubt about it. And the other one would be either Lloris or De Gea. I think that would be the best to bench boost in 26. Going forward, though, I think Sanchez is a great keeper. And even Areola. Areola you could bench boost on 26. Even Sanchez, but only one fixture there for Brighton. But he's got that fixture in 29, which looks very good. I think that Salah will have easy space instead. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because of James Justin being out, that could give the advantage to Liverpool. They could scrape a win. I think Liverpool will respond. It's just they have a lot of injuries. I think Thiago's out. Fabinho is out. Yeah, then I don't know. It's just too many injuries there, and they just don't look solid anyway. But maybe they'll have their new centre back starting. Kablak isn't his name. Maybe something like that. Martinez, Soufal, Diaz, Alonso, Salah, Fernandes, Gundogan, Captain, Grealish, Bamford, Kane, Ashley Barnes. What about my playing 11? Looks pretty fine, to be honest. Going forward, I wouldn't want Ashley Barnes, I'll be honest, but yeah, looks good. Alonso is worth keeping an eye on because of rotation. And as for Soufal, very bad fixtures coming up, but the rest looks very good going forward. Foden for captain, or is that too risky? I wouldn't say it's that risky. The risk is him being benched, but if he starts both games, I think he could maybe even outscore Sterling and Gundogan, to be honest. I was thinking if I should bench Mane and put Sterling, then remain with Maddison and Vardy to help me get points. Bench Mane. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I'd prefer Sterling this week for sure. Opinion, Pope, me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Grealish, Bruno Fernandes, Gundogan, Sterling, Bamford, Watkins, David De Gea, Dallas, Rudiger, Antonio. Minus 12 points bench boost. It's a good team, but I'll be honest. Taking a minus 8 or minus 12 or more for a bench boost, it kind of already... You're relying on your bench boost to get 30 or 40 points for it to be worth it. So in future, I would recommend not doing that, taking minus 12 to bench boost. Either bench boost, if you're taking a minus 4 or nothing really. Bench boost is quite an overrated chip, I'll be honest. Dallas or Saka on the bench? That's a tough one. I'm not sure. It depends on how you think the game's going to pan out. I don't think Leeds will keep a clean sheet, but... do I think Saka will score assist? I'm not sure. If Arsenal do something, most likely we'll go through Saka. So yeah, I'd say Saka. Sterling captain anyone? Yeah, he's a very good captain. Feel like I should have captained Gundogan, not Sterling. Well, we'll have to wait and see. They're both great captaincy options this week. 0-0, but Ley versus Fulham. Well, can you explain player price decrease? Example, I bought Antonio 6.5. He has gone up 6.7. So now he is 6.6 resale price. If he decreases tonight to 6.6, what happens to my resale price? Good question. I've been asked this not too many times, but I've been asked a few times over the years. Let me just have a quick water break and then I'll answer your question. My apologies. Okay, so... Oh, Jesus. So, Sherry, basically, you got Antonio in at 6.5, right? The way it works, when a player goes up in value by 0.2 million, you gain 0.1 million in terms of selling price. That's why right now you've got 6.6. In terms of if he goes down, will he go down in price as well? I'm not entirely sure about that. I think he would still have to go down to 6.5 in order for your selling price to also go down. But the way it works is every time a player goes up in value, by 0.2 million, the selling price goes up by 0.1. And they pretty much do that just to prevent people from having ridiculous team values and being able to buy everyone. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Imagine the scenes of Areola outscores Pope. Well, to be honest, I don't want to imagine that because I want Pope to do well. I just subscribed. Have lineups been revealed? They'll be revealed in 9 minutes at 11:30, 1 hour before the deadline. Is Guardiola versus Mourinho the best managerial rivalry of all time? It's up there, but I think Don Revy against Brian Clough, that's up there. Check that out, especially if you haven't seen the film, check out The Damned United. I'm not sponsored by them, I'm just saying it's a great film. Arsene Wenger against Ferguson, I think that's a great rivalry, especially between 1996 and 2005. That is one of the best rivalries, and that's what made the Premier League what it was at the time. But yeah, it's definitely up there, Guardiola versus Mourinho. There's plenty of rivalries like that. What do you think about Bruno and Gundogan's effective ownerships are? I'll be honest, I don't pay too much attention to effective ownerships, but I'm guessing it will be close to 100%. On a normal week, let's say for example, if there was no double game week, Bruno Fernandes's effective ownership, I mean, I don't even want to talk about numbers, but it would be the highest maybe ever. I think he'd be so heavily captained against West Brom away, but because it's a double game week, that's what kind of shifts that figure. But yeah. World number 1 captain Ben Mee. Oh, damn, I did not even know that. Okay. Maybe I should have captained Pope? I think it could go wrong. It could, but to be honest, he's got a bit of a cushion. I don't know how many points, but I'm pretty sure he's quite comfortably ahead. So, yeah, I mean, if he gets that right, he just increases the gap even more. But if not, then obviously, yeah. What club do you support? I support Arsenal. Marul. Yeah, Arsenal. Since day one. Not a glory hunter, nothing. So, yeah. Martinez, Diaz, Me, Cancelo, Foden, Bruno, Son, Saka, Salah, Cavani, Antonio, -8 to replace DCL after spending -4 replacing Bamford for DCL. Ouch. Hope Cavani comes through. Thoughts? I'll be honest, I mean, I already said my opinion on DCL. I would have kept him because for Game Week 26, he looks very good. Looks like one of the best options. And on a wildcard video, I didn't have him in the draft, but I explained specifically, build this team if you're, wildcarding in 24, 25 or something like it, and you can bring in Calvert-Lewin ahead of 26, maybe in for Bamford. So that's the way I look at it, but you already did it, so hopefully it pays off for you. But -4s, -8s, I mean, -4s are fine, but the more hits you take, the more, unlikely it is for you to obviously go up in rank and to get the points you want. Soucek or Maddison? For this game week, probably Soucek, but not much in it. Thanks. Can you share your bench again? Sure thing. My bench is Martinez in goal, Son, who faces Man City away, Calvert-Lewin, who is going to miss the Fulham game but should play against Man City, and Mitchell is third sub. What is the idea behind keeping Wan-Bissaka in your squad? To get points, to be honest. And he's got a double in 26. He's got good long-term fixtures. So yeah, that's why I've got Wan-Bissaka in my squad. I just got him in recently around game week 23, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with him. Sold Grealish for Sterling and took -4 hit. Good move. I mean, I keep saying about Grealish, he's got plenty of doubles to come. You'd probably want him back. Also has that fixture in 29 if the game against Spurs gets, moved there. But for this game week, I think a -4 for Sterling makes perfect sense, and it could be very, very good. World number 1 is destroying all of us, guys. I mean, I don't really see it that way. I mean, yeah, we all have our different teams. We all have our different, obviously, objectives. But yeah, I mean, those fighting for number 1, I mean, they're literally, it's very hard to catch them up. I mean, nearly impossible, but nothing's impossible. Hello, fellow Gunnar. Welcome, Zarin. Thank you for joining in. What do you think about my team? Pope, Tarkowski, me, Diaz, Cancelo, Bruno, Salah, Gundogan, captain, Salah, Antonio, Bamford. Looks pretty good. I'm not sure what your bench is like. You've got triple Burnley defence. Oh my God. You're banking on a lot there in terms of clean sheets. But if they get 2 clean sheets, I mean, you're literally just laughing, Vincent. Was benching Bamford for Antonio the play? I'll be honest, I I find it very hard to bench Bamford. I said this, I mean, I hate to keep referring to it, but I literally said this in yesterday's video. The only way or the only reason I would be benching Bamford going forward is if he has a solo game week and it's a major double game week. So, for example, in game week 26, Bamford will not have a double, but most of my players will. So that's the only time I see myself benching him. Apart from that, I would probably start him every single game. Unless he's maybe facing City or Liverpool. Apart from that, yeah, I'd probably start him every single time. Went back and forth on Son and Grealish. I chose Son. Can you explain your choice of Grealish? Because Son faces Man City, who are the best defence in Europe. And even though I don't expect a huge haul from Grealish, he's more likely to get an assist or a goal. That's the reason why I put Grealish. Welcome, Theo. Thank you for joining in. I mean, to be fair, no one played triple captaincy already. Yeah. I hear you about DCL, but him not playing against Fulham and then playing Man City seemed like I was losing a lot of points there, don't you think? No, I agree. But the reason why I say that is because he'll be back by game week 25. To be fair, you probably wouldn't play him, but a -8 is a lot. And to be fair, it could be. I'm not saying you're doomed or anything. I'm just saying I'm offering you my opinion. But going into game week 26, it's a possibility you'd probably want him back in. But let's see if he recovers from his injury role. He might have his injury aggravated or something, and he's out for a long time, and then you're not really affected. So, saw people playing triple captain on Sterling. I don't even own him. I'm so scared now. Yeah, well, then again, if you don't have Kane going into game week 26 and you don't captain him or don't have him or whatever, you might be scared, but I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, he might blank in one of the games. You never know. They are tough games after all. I expect Spurs to be parking the bus. I got Diaz, Soufal, Alonso, Dallas, Mitchell as defenders. What can I do for a long run? Long run, probably get rid of Soufal. If Alonso keeps rotating with Chilwell, maybe get rid of him. And maybe upgrade Mitchell. But that's what I would say. I was up early, went for a walk in the snow, rolled one up. Captain Sterling. Rolled one up. Oh, I think I get what you're alluding to there. Yeah, Sterling captaincy looks very good this week, definitely. Just subscribed. The last week hasn't been good for me on FPL. Well, hopefully it's good this week for you. And thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. And all the very best of luck for this game week. And thank you to everyone who is here. Really do appreciate it. So is Bamford the captaincy now for game week 25? I'll be honest. I'm either captaining... Oh, Jesus, voice crack. I'm either captaining Bruno or Bamford. And at the moment, I'm leaning towards Bamford. Sometimes Nick Pope is just disappointing. I've been using it since the beginning of the year. Yeah, with Nick Pope, though, I had him last year when he was 4.5 million. He was an absolute gem for me. But this year, I never really looked at him because he's 5.5. But because of all the premiums being out, obviously Vardy and Kane are now back, so that changes things. But I just brought him in. And I think for this game week, he could do very well. Going forward, maybe I don't want him. But yeah, very good for this game week. I dropped Maddison. Is that a mistake? Obviously, it depends who you dropped him for. But obviously, the only way we find out is if he blanks or whatever. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I got Soufal and bench Bamford. Thoughts? I mean, yeah, as I already said, benching Bamford isn't something... I mean, yeah, I already answered your question. You said, was benching Bamford for Antonio the play? I wouldn't have benched Bamford, but then again, maybe I wouldn't have benched anyone else you had. It's a tough one. Sometimes you have to leave some great players on your bench. Eric asks, when is the UCL video? As I discussed before, I am planning to make a UCL Fantasy team selection video tomorrow. And if you haven't checked it out already, I made a video already of the first draft. I made a first draft video last week, so check that out. And I'm planning to do a live stream 1 hour before the deadline, so around 7 PM GMT on the Tuesday. So stay tuned for those sort of videos. Dylan, where about in the UK are you based in? London. Based in London. I dropped Watkins for Antonio and Rafinha. Fair enough. Yeah, maybe for this game week it does make sense. What about Vardy's form? Well, to be fair, I mean, he's just come back in the FA Cup and he didn't even do anything there. But yeah, Vardy, I think he can turn his form around. And from Leicester now, with James Justin out of the picture, Barnes, Maddison and Vardy are the best assets you can get from Leicester. That's the way I see it. But thank you everyone who's joined in. Really appreciate everyone who's tuned in. I mean, it is early. And if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. And share this video around with anyone who loves FPL. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm active on both of those platforms. And I post regularly there. You can send me your teams, whether it's a screenshot or whatever, in the private message, or whether you at me or reply to me in a post. But thank you for tuning in. And if you have any further questions, just leave them in the comment section of this video, and I'll get back to you. And wish you all the very best of luck for Game Week 24. Good luck for Game Week 25 and enjoy the football. And I'll see you next time.